I discovered my wife's affair in the worst possible way, and the betrayal goes deeper than I ever imagined. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I never thought I'd be writing one of these posts. I used to read them during my lunch breaks, feeling sympathy for the people going through hell, never imagining I'd be one of them. But here I am, 3 weeks past D-Day, and I need to get this out because I'm losing my mind. I'm 34, I software engineer, married to my wife Sarah for 6 years, together for 9. We have 2 kids, Emma 4 years old and Jake 3 years old. On paper, we were living the dream. Nice house in the suburbs, good jobs, healthy kids, the whole package. Sarah's a pediatric nurse, works 3 12-hour shifts a week, and I've been working from home since 2020. We met through mutual friends at a barbecue, and I remember thinking she was completely out of my league. Somehow, I got lucky. Our life had a rhythm to it, you know? Tuesday nights were always pizza and a movie after the kids went down. Saturday mornings I'd take the kids to the park so she could sleep in after her Friday night shifts. We had this stupid inside joke about penguins, long story involving a disastrous zoo date, that would make us crack up at the randomest times. She'd leave little notes in my lunch. I'd do the voice of her favorite character from The Office to make her laugh when she was stressed. We were planning our 10-year dating anniversary trip, talking about maybe trying for one more kid. She'd been hinting about wanting a girls' trip with her best friend, Jen, to Nashville. Everything felt solid, normal, good. I mean, sure, every marriage has its moments, right? We'd argue sometimes about typical stuff, my parents visiting too much, her spending on the kids' activities, who forgot to buy milk again. But nothing major, nothing that ever made me question us. We still had sex regularly, maybe not as often as the early days, but that's normal with 2 young kids. We still said, "I love you," every day. Still made each other laugh. Looking back now, trying to pinpoint when things changed feels like trying to grab smoke. Were there signs? Jesus, I've replayed everything 1,000 times. She did seem more into her phone around January, but she'd just gotten into some neighborhood Facebook group, so I figured that explained it. She started going to the gym more consistently in February, but she'd been talking about wanting to lose the baby weight for years, so I was supportive. Proud of her, even. There was this one night in March where she seemed distant during dinner, barely touching her food, checking her phone repeatedly. I asked if everything was okay, and she said she was stressed about a difficult case at work. A kid with cancer, she said. It made complete sense. Sarah always took her patients' struggles to heart. That's one of the things I loved about her. Her empathy, her caring nature. God, I'm such an idiot. She started taking more shifts, which meant more money, so I didn't question it. Said they were short-staffed and needed her. Started doing more girls' nights with Jen. Maybe twice a month instead of once every couple months. But Jen had just gone through a rough divorce, so it made sense she'd need extra support from her best friend. I even encouraged it. Told Sarah that Jen needed her. I'm laughing as I type that. The bitter kind of laugh. It was around late April when I started feeling like something was off. Nothing I could put my finger on exactly. Just a feeling. You know when you walk into a room and you can tell people were just talking about you? It was like that, but with my own wife, in my own house. The first concrete thing I noticed was how she'd started positioning her phone face down everywhere. On the counter, on the nightstand, on the couch. Always face down. And she'd grab it quickly whenever it buzzed, sometimes walking into another room to check it. When I mentioned it casually one night, "You expecting an important call or something?" She got defensive, said I was being paranoid and controlling. That word, Controlling. It hit different. I'm not controlling. I've never gone through her phone, never demanded to know where she was, never isolated her from friends. I gave her space, trusted her completely. So why was she calling me controlling for asking a simple question? The sex changed too. It went from regular to sporadic and weird. Sometimes she'd initiate out of nowhere with this almost desperate energy, like she was trying to prove something. Other times, she'd reject me with excuses that felt hollow. I'm tired, my stomach hurts, I have an early shift. The excuses were always technically reasonable, but they piled up. Weeks would go by. Then there were the schedule changes. She'd always been pretty consistent with her shifts. 3/12s, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But suddenly she was picking up extra shifts at odd times. Sunday evenings, Thursday overnights. Her paychecks didn't seem to reflect all this overtime, but when I mentioned it, she said something about comp time and how hospital payroll is complicated. In mid-May, I noticed she'd changed her hair, got highlights, started wearing makeup more, bought new clothes. Again, totally reasonable on its own. Women are allowed to want to look nice. But combined with everything else? My gut was screaming at me, but my brain kept shutting it down. You're being paranoid. She's just taking care of herself. That's healthy. Don't be that suspicious, insecure husband. The emotional distance was the worst part. Sarah had always been affectionate, touching my arm when she walked by, kissing my cheek randomly, asking about my day and actually listening. But she became absent. Even when she was physically there, she wasn't there. She'd space out during conversations. Forget things I'd told her. Seem annoyed by my presence. I tried to talk to her about it. Multiple times. Hey, I feel like we've been disconnected lately. Is everything okay? Is there something going on? She'd reassure me that everything was fine. She was just stressed with work, tired from the extra shifts, worried about Emma's adjustment to kindergarten. Always a reason, always plausible. One night in early June, I suggested we do a date night. Get her mom to watch the kids, go to that Italian place we loved, reconnect. She said yes, but the whole night felt forced. She checked her phone 7 times during dinner. 7. I counted. When I pointed it out, she said there was a group chat with her work friends blowing up about hospital drama. I wanted to believe her so badly. The gym thing started bothering me more. She'd go at weird times, 9 p.m. sometimes, claiming the evening crowd was smaller. She'd come back glowing, energized, talking about her amazing workout. She'd never been a gym person before, and suddenly she was going 4-5 times a week. And then there was Jen. Sarah had always talked about Jen. What they did on girls' nights, funny things Jen said, updates on Jen's divorce. But around this time, Jen's name just stopped coming up. When I asked about her, Sarah would give vague answers. She's good. Same old, same old. It was like she didn't want to talk about Jen anymore. The biggest red flag came in mid-June. Emma had a recital at her dance school on a Wednesday evening. Sarah had known about it for 2 months. 2 months. It was on the family calendar. I'd reminded her that morning. But she forgot and scheduled a shift. She apologized profusely, said she'd gotten confused about the dates, felt terrible about it. Emma was heartbroken. I was furious. Sarah never forgot things about the kids. Never. That night, after Emma was asleep and still upset her mommy missed her special dance, I lay in bed next to my wife and felt like I was sleeping next to a stranger. She'd showered before bed. She always showered before bed after her shifts, made sense. But her shower had lasted almost 30 minutes. And she'd been humming. humming like she was happy, while our daughter cried herself to sleep because mommy didn't show up. I wanted to check her phone so badly that night. My hand literally itched to grab it off the nightstand while she slept. But I didn't. Because checking your spouse's phone means you don't trust them, and marriages are built on trust, right? Right? Jesus Christ, I'm such a fucking idiot. June 24th. That's the day. I'll never forget it. The date is burned into my brain like a brand. It was a Saturday. Sarah had picked up an overnight shift Friday into Saturday morning. She was supposed to be home by 9 a.m. The kids and I had made plans to go to the aquarium. Emma had been begging to see the new jellyfish exhibit. We were going to make it a family day. 9 a.m. came and went. No Sarah. I texted her at 9:15. No response. Called at 9:30 straight to voicemail. By 10 a.m., I was getting worried. By 11, I was calling the hospital. Hi, I'm trying to reach Sarah Patterson. She worked overnight last night. Let me check. I'm sorry, we don't have a Sarah working overnight last night. She's not scheduled until Monday. The floor disappeared beneath me. Are you sure? Can you double check? Sarah Patterson, pediatric floor? Yes sir, I'm looking at the schedule right now. She's not on it. I hung up. My hands were shaking so hard I nearly dropped the phone. The kids were asking when mommy would be home, when we could go see the jellyfish, and I couldn't form words. She walked in at 11:47 a.m. I remember the exact time because I'd been staring at the clock, watching the minutes tick by, my mind racing through possibilities. Car accident, abduction, medical emergency, anything but what I knew deep down it had to be. She looked happy, relaxed. Her hair was wet, she was wearing clothes I didn't recognize, and she had this soft smile on her face until she saw me standing in the kitchen. The smile died. Where were you? My voice didn't sound like mine. At work, I told you. I called the hospital. You weren't on the schedule. The color drained from her face. I watched it happen. Watched the lie die in her throat. Watched panic flash across her eyes. In that moment, in that horrible split second, I knew. I knew everything even though I knew nothing. I can explain. Where were you? Emma wandered into the kitchen. Mommy, you're home. Can we go to the aquarium now? Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Baby, not right now. Mommy and Daddy need to talk. Can you go play with your brother? But you promised. Emma, go. I'd never yelled at my daughter like that. She burst into tears and ran. Sarah moved toward her, but I blocked her path. You don't get to comfort her. You don't get to pretend to be Mother of the Year right now. Tell me where you were. I can't, not right now, not with the kids. I called my mom. Voice shaking, I asked if she could come get the kids for a few hours. She heard something in my voice and didn't ask questions. Just said she'd be there in 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes were silent. Sarah sat on the couch crying quietly. I stood in the kitchen, my whole body vibrating with adrenaline and dread. The kids were confused and scared. I packed them bags with shaking hands, told them they were having a surprise sleepover at Grandma's. After they left, I sat across from Sarah in our living room. The same living room where we'd watched our kids take their first steps. Where we'd decorated Christmas trees. Where we'd made love on the couch during nap time just a year ago. Tell me everything, right now. And she did. His name is Marcus, 38M. He's a physical therapist at her hospital. They'd been talking since January. It became physical in March. She'd been seeing him 2 to 3 times a week since then. The extra shifts were hours at his apartment. The gym sessions were afternoons at his place. Last night, she'd spent the night there. In his bed. 4 months. 4 months. Is it serious? I asked, my voice hollow. She nodded, crying. I love him. Those 3 words. I love him. Not, I slept with him. Not, I made a mistake. I love him. Do you love me? She took too long to answer. I don't know anymore. I actually laughed. This broken, desperate sound. You don't know. You don't know if you love the father of your children, your husband of 6 years, the man who's been faithful to you every single day we've been together. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. I was shouting now. You either love me or you don't. You either want this family or you don't. I want both. She was sobbing. I don't know what I want. I'm confused. How long have you been sleeping with him? I told you, since March. How many times, Sarah? How many times? I don't know. Maybe 30? 40? 30 to 40 times. While I was home with our children. While I was working to pay our mortgage. While I was planning our anniversary trip. Did you use protection? Her silence was answer enough. Sarah, did you use protection? Most of the time. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. Everything. My breakfast, my coffee, my entire life. I dry heaved over the toilet while my wife of 6 years stood in the doorway crying. When I could speak again. Where? What? Where? Where did you fuck him? His place, mostly. Ever here? In our house? In our bed? No. God, no. I would never. But you would fuck him 40 times while married to me. You would lie to my face for 4 months. You would let me think I was crazy for noticing you were different. I grabbed her phone off the counter. Unlock it. Please don't. Unlock the fucking phone, Sarah. She did. And I wish she hadn't. The texts were worse than I imagined. Thousands of them. Good morning texts with heart emojis. Can't wait to see you, messages. Explicit photos, her photos, ones she'd never sent me. Plans for a future together. Him calling her baby, sweetheart, his sunshine. Her saying things to him she used to say to me. There was a text thread from 3 days ago. Marcus, when are you going to tell him? Sarah, soon. I promise. I just need to find the right time. Marcus, you've been saying that for weeks. I'm getting impatient, baby. I want you here full time. Sarah, I know. You're right. After Emma's recital this week, I'll start the conversation. Emma's recital. The one she forgot about. She didn't forget. She chose him over our daughter's dance recital. I kept scrolling. There were messages from when I'd texted her asking where she was, worried about her. She'd screenshot them and sent them to Marcus with comments like, he's so clueless, with a crying laughing emoji. I found messages from the night of our date night in June. While she was sitting across from me at dinner, checking her phone, she was texting him. This is so awkward. He's trying so hard. I feel bad. Marcus. Then leave him already. Come home to me. Sarah. Soon. Red heart. There were photos of them together. At restaurants. At his place. One of them hiking. A day she'd told me she was doing overtime. She was wearing the necklace I'd given her for her birthday. My necklace. With him. But the worst message. The absolute worst. Sarah. Sometimes I wish he'd just figure it out so I wouldn't have to be the one to end it. Marcus. You're too nice, babe. That's why I love you. But you need to rip off the band-aid. Sarah. I know. I'm just scared of hurting him. And the kids. God, the kids are going to be devastated. Marcus. They'll adjust. Kids are resilient. And we'll make new memories together. Maybe even have one of our own winking face. She wanted to have his baby. While still married to me. While our youngest wasn't even fully potty trained yet. I dropped the phone like it was burning me. Get out. What? Get out of my house. Please, we need to talk about this. Now. Get out now. She tried to approach me, to touch me. I backed away like she was diseased. Don't touch me. Don't you ever fucking touch me again. Get out or I'm calling the police. This is my house too. Get out. She left, grabbed her purse and her phone and walked out the door. I watched her pull out of the driveway, probably heading straight to him, and I collapsed on the floor. I don't know how long I laid there. Could have been 20 minutes. Could have been 2 hours. I just laid on the cold kitchen tile, staring at the ceiling, my mind a war zone of thoughts. Every memory we had together was now tainted. Every, I love you, was a lie. Every time she'd come home from work, she'd been with him. Every time we'd made love, she'd probably been thinking of him. The texts kept flashing through my mind. He's so clueless. She'd laughed about me. To him, I wasn't a husband. I was an obstacle. A joke. I thought about our wedding day. How she'd cried during her vows. How she'd promised to forsake all others. How I believed her so completely that I never even considered this could happen to us. I thought about Emma asking where Mommy was. Jake calling for her at bedtime. How was I supposed to tell them? How do you tell a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old that Mommy doesn't want to be with Daddy anymore? That she's choosing someone else? My phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. I'm at Marcus's. I'm staying here tonight. We need to talk tomorrow when you've calmed down. I never wanted you to find out this way. I threw my phone across the room. It shattered against the wall. That was 3 weeks ago. The longest 3 weeks of my life. I'll try to summarize because honestly, it's all a blur. That night, I drove to my mom's and picked up the kids. Told her I'd explain later. She saw my face and hugged me, and I almost broke down but held it together for the kids. Got them home, got them in bed, and then I did break down. Cried so hard I couldn't breathe. The kind of crying that's silent because your body can't make sound anymore. Sarah came back the next day to talk. Brought Marcus with her for support. The fucking audacity. Having your affair partner show up at your family home. I told them both to leave before I did something I'd regret. Marcus tried to shake my hand. Tried to shake my fucking hand like we were meeting at a networking event. I hope we can be civil about this, he said. I slammed the door in their faces. Sarah's been staying with him since then. She's seen the kids 3 times, supervised visits that I arranged. Emma keeps asking when Mommy's coming home. I don't know what to tell her. Jake's too young to really understand, but he's been clingier, like he senses something's wrong. I contacted a divorce lawyer the Monday after D-Day. Best decision I've made. She's amazing, already building a case. The state I'm in considers infidelity in divorce proceedings, especially regarding custody. The fact that Sarah abandoned the family home and children helps. My lawyer is pushing for primary custody. I also got STD tested. Clean, thank God. Though I won't feel fully safe until the 3-month retest for HIV. That's a fun thing to worry about. Whether your wife gave you a disease from her affair partner. I told our families. My parents are devastated and furious. They loved Sarah like a daughter. My dad actually cried, and I've never seen him cry. Sarah's parents. That was complicated. Her mom called me sobbing, apologizing, saying she didn't raise her daughter to be this person. Her dad hasn't spoken to Sarah since I told him. That almost makes me feel bad. Almost. I told our close friends. This is where it gets worse, if you can believe things could get worse. Remember Jen, Sarah's best friend? The one going through a divorce? The one Sarah was supposedly supporting through her tough time? Jen didn't know about Marcus. At all. Sarah hadn't been hanging out with Jen on those girls' nights. When I called Jen to tell her what happened, she was shocked. Said she hadn't seen Sarah one-on-one since February. Said she'd been confused why Sarah had been so distant lately but figured she was busy with work and kids. So all those times Sarah said she was with Jen, she was with Marcus. She'd lied about everything. Everything. She'd even stopped being friends with her actual best friend to hide her affair. Work has been impossible. I'm working from home staring at a screen, trying to code, but my brain just replays the texts, the lies, the "he's so clueless" message. I've had to tell my boss I'm dealing with a family emergency. He's been understanding, but I can't keep this up forever. The house feels empty and wrong. She's everywhere. Her coffee mug, her shoes by the door, her shampoo in the shower. I've boxed up some of her stuff, but there's so much. 9 years of a life together doesn't fit neatly in boxes. I've had moments where I wanted to call her, to beg her to come back, to ask her what I did wrong, how I can fix it. That's the worst part, knowing that part of me still loves her even after everything. Even after she destroyed us. It makes me feel pathetic. Other times, I fantasize about confronting Marcus. About telling his family, he's apparently divorced with a kid of his own. So he's doing this to his own child too. About leaving a review at his practice warning people about his character. About posting the whole story on social media. I haven't done any of it. My lawyer advised against anything that could be seen as harassment. Sarah wants to do mediation for the divorce. Wants to work together to minimize damage to the kids. I told her through my lawyer that she gave up the right to worry about damage to the kids when she chose her affair over them. We're going through the full legal process. I'm done protecting her feelings. She's already talking about introducing Marcus to the kids. My lawyer shut that down fast. No affair partners meet the children until the divorce is final and a custody arrangement is in place. Sarah's mad about it, thinks I'm being difficult, and using the kids as pawns. I'm not using them as pawns. I'm protecting them from watching their mother parade her affair partner around while their family falls apart. Last week, Emma asked me if Mommy stopped loving us. I told her that Mommy loves her and Jake very much, that sometimes grown-ups have problems that have nothing to do with their kids. She asked if it was her fault Mommy left. I held her and told her no, none of this is her fault, and I cried after she went to bed because my baby thinks she drove her mother away. I started therapy, been going twice a week. It helps, sort of. At least it's someone I can talk to who doesn't know us, who won't judge. She's helping me process everything. The betrayal, the grief, the anger. I have so much anger. The hardest part is the random moments. I'll be making the kids breakfast and think about how Sarah used to make Emma's eggs exactly how she liked them. I'll see a commercial for a movie and remember we wanted to see it together. I'll hear a song and remember dancing in the kitchen. And then I remember it was all a lie for at least 4 months. Maybe longer. Maybe our entire relationship was a lie and I was just too stupid to see it. I wonder if she ever actually loved me. If any of it was real. Or if I was always just convenient. A stable option. A good enough guy who'd give her a nice life while she waited for something better to come along. Marcus isn't even better. That's what kills me. I've looked him up. He's not smarter, not richer, not better looking. Just different, new, exciting. I wasn't enough, and there's no explanation that makes sense. No reason I can point to and say, that's why. She just decided I wasn't enough anymore. I go through her texts sometimes, even though my therapist says I should stop. I can't help it. I'm looking for the moment it started. The first text that crossed the line. The first, "I love you," to him. The first complaint about me. I'm torturing myself trying to understand when exactly I lost her. Was it the first conversation with Marcus? The first time they had lunch? The first time they slept together? When did I do become I don't? There was a message from April. Sarah. Had a moment today where I almost told my name. Just wanted to be honest and end this lie. Marcus. What stopped you? Sarah. Scared, I guess. Once I tell him, it's real. Everything changes. Marcus. It's already real, baby. And everything has already changed. You just haven't admitted it yet. She'd known since April that it was over. 2 more months of lying to my face. 2 more months of me thinking we were working through a rough patch when she'd already checked out completely. Edit. Sarah texted me today asking if we could talk without lawyers present. Said she misses me and wants to explain everything properly. I told her no. Everything goes through lawyers now. She said I'm being vindictive. I'm not being vindictive. I'm being smart. Every time I've given her an opportunity to be honest, she's lied. Why would this time be different? Edit 2. Some people have DM'd asking if I think she'll try to reconcile. Honestly, I don't know. Part of me thinks she will once the new relationship energy with Marcus wears off. Once reality sets in and she realizes she blew up her family for a guy who helps people with ACL injuries. But it doesn't matter. I'm done. There's no coming back from, he's so clueless. There's no coming back from 40+ times. There's no coming back from her looking me in the eye and lying repeatedly. The person I married doesn't exist anymore. Maybe never existed. I'm not okay. I don't know when I'll be okay. Some days are better than others. Some days I can function. Some days I can't get out of bed until the kids need me, and then I put on a brave face and pretend everything's fine. But I'm still here. I'm showing up for my kids. I'm doing the work in therapy. I'm taking it one day at a time. That's all I can do right now. If you've read this far, thanks for listening. I needed to get it all out. Needed to tell someone who isn't my lawyer or my therapist or my family the whole story from beginning to end. To anyone going through something similar, I'm so sorry. It's the worst pain I've ever experienced. Worse than any physical injury, any loss, any failure. It's a special kind of hell watching the person you love become a stranger. Watching your life dismantle in slow motion. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. I ignored so many signs because I didn't want to believe my wife was capable of this. I trusted her completely. That trust is gone now, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust anyone like that again. But I'm going to try. Someday. When I'm healed. When my kids are okay. When I'm not checking every woman's phone to see if it's face down or wondering if every late work night is a lie. Someday I'll be okay again. Just not today. TLDR. Discovered wife of 6 years was having a 4-month affair with a coworker after she came home from a fake overnight shift. Found thousands of texts revealing the depth of betrayal, including messages mocking me. She's been lying about everything, girls' nights, extra shifts, even gym sessions were all cover for the affair. She's currently living with the affair partner. We're divorcing, I'm fighting for primary custody of our 2 kids, and I'm trying to piece my life back together while protecting my children from the fallout.